don't like it when somebody else pulls the strings, Captain.
Neither do I, Vincent. Who's ever up in that control tower is calling the shots right now.
Whoever, or whatever, Captain.
Easy, Kate.
I know I shouldn't get my hopes up, but it's hard not to.
I know.
I don't mind telling you, I'm a little concerned. Some of my brother robots were assigned to Project Black Hole, programmed to send ESP messages back from space probes. Oh, a grand experiment, the scientists thought.
Also ancient history, Vincent.
Not to me, Mr. Booth. Not this close. The heat in there melts types like me rather quickly.
Kate McCrae. Is Officer Frank McCrae aboard?
They appear to be some sort of robot, Dr. Kate.
Look over here.
Incredible. It ought to be. Sure costs the taxpayers enough.
Kate. There's someone else with us.
Identify yourself. What is your type and model?
I think some of your best work is on the black hole.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Now, is it your best movie? But it's some great work. And why are the lobotomized android types having a funeral?
Don't know. You know, here's to all the new filmmakers coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Number one rule: never make a movie with a script that doesn't already have an ending. No, we'll figure it out.
No.
We'll figure it out on the way. Well, do they go through the black hole?
I've been there.
Not go through the black hole? Do they go to Italy and you see this pull back from the hand of God and Adam? And the excuse always was, hey, look, just because we're not sure what we're doing, what about that Kubrick guy and the monolith after the apes and the stuff in 2001? Makes no sense. And as Mr. Kubrick once said, when asked, what is the meaning of the monolith? And he said, it's whatever you want it to be.
He's not wrong. He was not wrong in that approach. You know, his longtime assistant, Leon Vitale, was a regular on the show, and we talk over brunch about this kind of stuff constantly. And what he said was interesting. First, you know, the ape sequence was done 6 months after they'd wrapped on that.
Yeah.
Like he came up with the idea to execute that like 6 months after the movie was in the bag. It's like, okay, we're opening it back up. We're going to shoot an ape sequence. But also, you know, Leon always said
the thing was the first stuff didn't work at all. And so somehow they figured how to do front screen projection and keep the apes in the shadows. But I mean, it's still one of the best sequences ever.
Yeah. And then Leon famously told me that the ending is, you know, people in film, his interpretation was people in movies like to be told what the ending is, where in life they like to have their own conclusions and draw their own conclusions. And he always thought it was interesting, or he relayed what Kubrick said was interesting, that in a movie you can't open up, it can't be open to interpretation. It creates issues with some of the audience. But so you have this thing. I've been there too at Warner Brothers. I was on a movie that didn't have an ending, and that's just Maria Shriver did one of the rewrites on it. Okay, now you know it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but it's not a position you want to be in. The idea that we'll figure it out, that's not the smart call. But I get doing the movie. I mean, we've talked about the black hole in the past, and I think what I seem to think is if it wasn't called the black hole, but still had a black hole in it, you kind of solve your problem. You don't have to go through it. But when you name it the black hole, it's kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're going to need to open up the Ark. It's now you're kind of married to the concept of the device, right? Or no? Do you think you could have? No, how would you have done it? I mean, I know.
Look, I'm not a screenwriter, thank God, because
I beg to differ.
Here's really the concept that should be appreciated is that, all right, so there's Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. And there's the denouement in Act 3, where it all kind of ties together. But when you think of that, how come there is no denouement after Star Wars? It's left open for interpretation. Mm-hmm. But it still, whatever other people have as a good idea, doesn't quite work because it's this, that, and another thing. And I love the fact that there is the ability for filmmakers, good filmmakers, to create the mystery, to hold off before you do I am your father. I mean, that's freaking brilliance. What? So poor Mark Hamill has to let go, screaming, and go down into some tremendous matte paintings, and
yeah,
and then for some reason get off into the underside of the Cloud City thing.
There is a convenient suction device at the end of that drop for sure, but I agree with you. Those matte paintings were tremendous. You did those, right? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not only does he act, my friends, he also saves the production with his matte work. But get back to the
save anything.
Oh, see, you won't. You can't say it, but I can. I think a lot of that "I Am Your Father" thing kind of was inspired from Otto Preminger's "In Harm's Way." The idea.
Absolutely.
Think so? I feel like that's where that kind of came from.
There are no original ideas anymore because the quote from Amadeus is too many notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've done everything. There's all this, but there's the next George Lucas, the next Steven Spielberg, the next Stanley Kubrick, who, man or woman, are somewhere in sixth grade, seventh grade,
right,
who are going to go, maybe this. And that's the future. The future is the hands of the next generation.
And when those visionaries put forth their innovative work, we'll sit back and be like, too many notes.
No,
We'll be like the old guy out of that quote, by the way, has been used in good and bad ways by everyone in the industry. The too many. Lucas's favorite quote was "Put the freaks up front," because that's what the one executive said about THX 1138. Put the Wookiees in the end of the movie up front. So he constantly said, "Put the freaks up front." Right? He probably said it to you a couple of times.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.